Hello everyone, this is Benedicta. Today we are cooking what I call African dish, okra soup. And today we are going to cook delicious food called okra soup. And okra is really good for you and is a vegetable that everybody recognizes anywhere, anytime. In Africa, we love to cook with okra and to make okra soup, and we love to eat the soup with what we call fufu, is a dough substance which I'm going to make with coconut, and you have to blend it a little bit like I've just done. Because of the noise, I had to blend this off camera, so I've already done blending it. I'm going to make it in the pot. Here I have a little already stirring. Here you stir it a little bit to that will be coming from the stove. Cook it for you, and as it's coming together, you can add a little bit olive oil or coconut oil, whatever you prefer, and you just keep stirring it and until you make sure that it's done. And when it is done, you will know if it's too strong, because sometimes it can get strong. You can add a little water to make it a little softer, and that is what we're going to do. And then to make this soup today, I'm going to use some chicken breast, which you can get anywhere in your local store. This is it. So the chicken breast, I have about 4 here, already cooked with salt. I'm going to cut it into pieces. I'm going to cut it into small pieces and cook it a little bit more with other ingredients, and then the soup will progress from there. Some other ingredients that I'm going to use today will be mushroom. So today is the smaller pack, and I have this to cook with, and then I have here coconut oil. I'm going to use coconut oil to cook the soup. You can use any oil of your choice if you want to try on how to make this soup. And then I'm going to use Maggi cube, 1 of the Maggi cube, and then I have in here grinded crayfish. And this grinded crayfish is optional. You don't have to use it, but in Africa we love to cook with our crayfish, and that is going inside the soup. Now in Africa, let me just tell you, because I know some of my people from Nigeria will watch this channel and they'll be like, girl, there are some other things we put in this soup. I know I am skipping a lot of things that we cook this soup with in Nigeria, but right now I'm trying to make it. This is American version of it. I modified it to make sure that Dennis will eat it for me, because he has come to love this soup. So the way I make it for him to eat it is the way I'm going to make it today, and it's really yummy. After we finish, you will see how it's going to be. It's really good. And one thing I'm going to let you know why I am talking about this soup is that this soup made it to one of Dennis's book. It's called 60 Ways to Lower Your Blood Sugar. See? So if you have this book already, you can go with me to page 152 to 153. Bam, that's me there cooking this soup. I made it to the book with my okra soup. Don't I look pretty there? Oh, it's really good. So if you want to try it, this will give you exactly what I'm trying to make. If you have this book, you can go there. The recipe is here, and you can just watch me as I make the soup here. So yeah, that is it. So some other ingredients I'm going to use to make this soup will be pepper. This is cayenne pepper. I'm just going to use a little bit because Dennis don't really eat a lot of pepper, so I'm going to use a little. And then another thing will be tomato sauce. This is traditional tomato sauce. Normally they use it for spaghetti, but I use it to make a little sauce to go with my soup, because we normally use red oil to make this soup, but right now I don't have red oil. So what I'm going to use now is this tomato sauce, and there will be garlic sauce for taste, and one of the cube I'm gonna use Maggi cube 1, and then I'm going to use also onion. Yep. And then don't forget the major ingredients, okra. So another thing I'm going to add will be about 2 handfuls of this spinach. You don't have to buy big bag like this. You can get this from your local Walmart or local grocery store. So you just kind of about 2 handfuls of this like this will be just enough. I'm going to show how I cut it into small pieces, and so that it won't be big in the soup. So but this okra right now is in a big chunk. I'm not going to put it inside the soup as it is. I'm going to use my blender. It's not a blender, a chopper. This is a chopper. So this is the kind of blade that is in here. So I'm going to use the chopper to chop this into pieces, and I can still show on the camera how I made it. How it's gonna look. So that will be it. I've already introduced you to all the ingredients that I'm going to cook with. So with no much introduction around here, so we just have to get into the preparation and the cooking proper. So I am going to cut a lot of things, because I'm going to cut this into pieces, the mushroom into pieces. Dennis don't really like it when it's in a big chunk like this, so I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut the spinach. I'm going to cut the onion into pieces. And then I'm going to I'm going to cut the chicken in smaller pieces. So I just have to get going. I'll get back to you in a jiffy. Yeah. Okay, so this is how it looks after blending the okra. After chopping the okra with this, make sure you chop it when it's frozen. This is frozen okra. You can still chop the fresh okra. When you buy it like that, you cut it into smaller pieces and then chop it with this. It will be okay still. But this, I decided to go for frozen okra today because I couldn't find the other fresh okra in the store. So after blending it, it's going to look exactly like this. Okay, like in pieces like that. So if you chop it, you know, I can still go a little more, like blend it a little more. Okay. So now it's a little more tiny, you know, in pieces, like small, tiny pieces. Okay. So here we go. I'll just leave it there until I'm ready to cook. And I'm using 2 of these okra today. This is not a family size. This is a small size. So if you have the family size, 1 will be enough for this soup. But if you don't have this family size, you have this smaller size like what I'm holding. You have a smaller size like what I'm holding. It will be really good to get 2 of this. And you have to blend it 1 at a time. Yeah, let me rephrase that. You have to chop this 1 bag at a time, because unless you have a bigger chopper, this will not be able to contain the 2 bags of okra. Okay, we're done. Okay, now this is our okra. That's exactly how it looks like when you're done blending it. Chopping it. When you're done chopping it. Okay, yeah. I am so cutting this fast enough because supper time is getting closer and closer, and I have to rush the cooking so that everybody will eat at the proper time. Yep. Okay. So, this is the mushroom into pieces, and then this is the spinach cut into pieces. And okay, so you have to soften the so I'm starting to cook now. Mostly every ingredient for the soup is completed, but because the dough takes time to make, I have to make that first. I don't have to make the soup and leave it to get cold before I finish making the dough. So I have to make the dough first and then go for the soup. So to make the dough, you just have to mix it with water, and then it gets like this kind of paste substance, and then you can put your heat not too high, but yeah. You just have to keep stirring the soup, the dough, like that, mixing it like this. People, it's quaker oats. Everybody eat it, and but right now we're eating it in a different way, making dough out of it. In Africa, we make dough out of so many things: cassava, corn, and so many other things, yam. So we have samovita, semolina, all that. So people eat in Africa, and you know, in East Africa is different from West Africa or North Africa. Anywhere you go is different. So here in America, people that like their dough, I think this will be a good substitute for your, what we call in Africa, fufu. Okay, yep. So I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil, just a drop, and by the time it's getting done, I'll put a little more drop so that it won't stick on the pan. That is the reason why we add, you know, this little oil to it, because if you make it like that, it may or not stick on the pan, on the pot. Like right now, it's coming together already. So right now it's a little strong, so I'm gonna add some water to make it a little softer. Yep. And another thing is, when there is water in there, just be gentle with it and press it, you know, gently down while it's cooking with the water in there. That is not the time to forcefully turn it like this until you see that the thing has cooked with all the water in there and sucked up all the water. It will help, the water will help it to cook and at the same time make it softer. So that is the reason why we add some water to it. The first water you mixed it with may not really get it done, so you just have to add some more water to it. Well, our dough is ready to serve, and when you want to serve it, you can serve it warm, and if it's cold, you can just microwave it. It will be warm again. You can divide it into several places, like into 5 or 6 or 7 portions, and put them inside. When it's cold, put it inside plastic bag. You can put it inside a plastic bag like this and save it inside the freezer. Whenever you want to eat, you just bring out one portion at a time and warm it up inside the microwave. Well, you see how I cover the dough substance. because if you leave it open, the surface will dry up, and when it dries up, it's gonna be a little tough to eat. So all you have to do is when you finish making it, bringing it together, you cover it a little like this and keep it until everybody is ready to eat. Okay, sweetie. Now I'm going to make the soup. First, I have to open my oil. Okay, I'm gonna take about 3 of this, 3 tablespoonful, because I'm gonna use this to cook my tomato sauce and every other thing I'm going to cook. Okay. So you heat it up a little and melt it. While the oil is melting, just bring your onion closer. This is onion chopped. This is like 1.5 onion, like medium size onion and a half. Well, it looks like the oil is heating up. I can hear the sound. You just add the onion. And then you turn a little. So while the onion is cooking, the next thing I'm going to add here will be the chicken that we cooked. I have to let it fry a little bit with the onion in the pan. Okay, let me bring it closer so that you can see how it's chopped in smaller pieces. And you don't have to let the water get in there. You can just get the water out of it. Only the chicken is what you're going to put in here. Normally in Africa, we cook this soup or any of our soup that we make with a lot of fish, dry fish, all kinds of fish, stock fish. But right now, I am just cooking with crayfish, and I'm cooking with crayfish and chicken breast because I'm not eating it alone. The people that are eating it with me will not really want to go through all other fish. If I'm cooking for me alone, I have to put all kinds of fish, periwinkle. So I'm just gonna add a little salt to taste so that the chicken will have some salt to cook. Although when I was cooking it, I added some salt, but you just have to be mindful of the salt so that you don't put too much salt in your food. Like I showed you before, this is traditional sauce, so I'm going to pop it open. Oh, sweetie. See these fights here? I'm gonna. Well, you don't want to be in there.
I could get it started and then you could just edit it out.
Oh, I know why it's not working. I removed it. So at this point, the chicken has cooked a little more with the oil. I just have to add my sauce. It's looking great already. So with the sauce, this is how it looks like stew. So we just leave it to cook for a while. At this time, you don't have to leave it open. At this time, you don't have to leave it open. You just slightly keep it halfway open, and then you lower the light a little bit. Yeah, the burner a little bit lower. So while the sauce is cooking with the meat, I am going to add some pepper, and the rest of the ingredients will be going in. I don't add too much pepper because my husband doesn't really take too much pepper. I go on a light hand. And the next thing I'm going to add here will be the crayfish I told you about that we cook with. It's fish. Crayfish is really good from the water. And I'm gonna add like 3 tablespoons. And you turn it together. Then at this time I have to add the okra. Well, I'm trying to get every bit of my okra out. And you turn it together. The okra I mix it a little thick. So we're going to add some water to lighten it up a little. But before I add water, it's time for me to add mushroom. You have to be careful, depends on how big your pot is. When you put the mushroom, you just have to slowly press it in. Mushroom has some water to it. So when you add it in there, you just wait and see how much water the mushroom is going to bring out. Then you know how much water you want to add to it. Just have to turn it together with the other ingredients in here and let it cook a little bit. Another thing I'm going to add is the Maggi cube. This is how it looks like. I'm going to spray it all over it. When you want to put salt, you'll be on a lighter hand because this has some salt to it. But the Maggi cube, let me be clear, the Maggi cube is optional. You don't have to use the Maggi cube if you are allergic to Maggi cube. And crayfish as well. If you're allergic to crayfish, please don't use it. You can just use chicken. Okay. Quickly, while this is cooking, I just have to take another step and show you how I prepare the spinach, because spinach has water to it, and if you put it direct to the soup like that, it will have, I don't know how to describe it, but I just have to well, this is the water from the meat. I'll first of all add it to it. It's really thick, so I have to add some more water to it. Not a cup. I'm taking a little oil, and I have to use it to cook this spinach a little, because while you are cooking this soup, because it's thick, it can burn anytime, so you just don't leave it alone. But the water in there is helping out. I'm gonna cook, try to cook this separately a little with the oil. before putting it inside the soup. Not too much, but just cooking it a little with the oil. I'll show you how it looks afterwards. So our soup is pretty much cooked. As you can see, it looks good already. So what is remaining now is the spinach. So when I add the spinach to it, I'll just turn it, because the spinach is already cooked. This is how it looks in the pan. I'm going to add it in here and turn it, and the soup is cooked and ready to eat.
Start for a minute or two, I'll do a little video. Okay. Let me get a close-up of this soup. Yep. Very good.
Ouch, did I hit my hand?
Are you ready to turn this off?
Yep.
Alright.
Oh, we have not tasted it. Don't put it off.
Okay.
Now is the moment, tasting time, to see what magnificent soup I have made. And yummy. So yummy, yo. Okay, food is ready. Sweetie, who is hungry? Food is ready. Yay.
Are you ready to turn this off now?
Yeah. Sweetie, come and dance with me.
No, I'm not going to.